3, 2, 1. Hey, I need a drink. I don't have a drink. I just have water.
Because I'm afraid if I start drinking, I'm going to get weird.
Okay. So welcome to a very different episode of Craft and Geek. This week, Jackie is not with us this week only, as far as I know. I didn't want to say Jackie's no longer with us because that might, have some connotation that everybody's like, oh, what happened to Jackie? So Jackie has been hijacked by Nintendo, and she's con crunching as hard as you can con crunch right now. To the point where she didn't have time yet again this week to record anything. So I asked two wonderful friends of mine, Bev and Heather. They don't have. They didn't like the conjoined name I came up with them, so But
Heatherly, you know what? I kind of like it. I don't know what Heather's talking about.
Heatherly's not so bad, right?
It's kind of. Let's change it. You know what, Heather? We're gonna change our name now.
Heatherly. You can totally.
And my name's also Heatherly.
you may or may not know of these two already. Bev is from Downen Creative Studios. Heather is also known as Harbeastie. And they are both big-time nerds and Wonder Woman fans and cosplayers and all-around just awesome people. And so I got a hold of them earlier today and said, hey, can you help me out and record a podcast? So here we are. Jackie less, but we're going to just spend some time talking about Wonder Woman because I know you two are big fans. I'm a big fan. And I've been wanting to do a kind of movie review episode for quite a while. And so here we go. Let's talk about Wonder Woman. Does that sound like a good time?
Yes. It's always a good time. Yes.
So you two have both cosplayed characters from Wonder Woman. Hippolyta.
You know what? You called it Hippolyta, or you called it Hippolyta for that? And then that's what I was saying for months, Eric.
I asked you. I didn't say that was how it was pronounced.
Greek names, man.
I have to go on the record. Part of this is me going on the record that I didn't say that's how it was pronounced. I asked you, do you know how this is pronounced? And I said, I would call it this.
Well, I look up to you.
Greeks
I didn't think
put weird accents on different.
So for the record,
they sound weird.
How is it pronounced?
It's
Hippolyta.
Imagine like the little white ball bouncing over the.
Got it.
Yes,
Hippolyta.
Yeah, Hippolyta.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are clear. We are clear on that.
Yes.
And then, of course, Heather has cosplayed as Diana herself, Wonder Woman, and you guys did some pretty epic photo shoots here a while back around Emerald City time by the amazing photographer. What's that guy's name?
Oh gosh, he's bald.
I just call him Chrome Dome. I mean,
Chrome Dome.
He's going to kill us later. He's just going to be like, what did you say?
Yes.
Okay,
I also call him bartender and minion and massage.
Hired help and standing monkey.
Is Brett the better half or is Bev the better half? That's the question.
I'm going to go with... Oh, that's hard, actually.
Because I was going to introduce him as your better half, but maybe you're his better half. So
I'm the better half.
I'll take it. You're on the show today, so
she gets the bestie. She gets the bestie better half.
I will get him on someday, and we'll get the truth from him. So.
Oh, you totally should. He can. Yes. So, yeah, man, that photo shoot was so much fun. That's the whole thing. I've never done anything like that before. I don't know, Heather, if you've ever done.
No, I was completely new. There was no, I've been in a photo shoot before. This was oh gosh, I'm really rookie.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you know what? So the whole thing, the only reason,
I had
seeing friends,
the best time though.
Oh yeah, no, it was amazing. And I loved the anticipation of it and planning and getting out there. And Eric, we only had 30 minutes of good weather because it was raining like crazy.
Yeah, the weather was horrible.
It was awful. And it was freezing. And this girl didn't want to take off her cape. If you notice in the photos, there's no, you didn't have your shield. Right?
I didn't have my sword either for a majority of it. You didn't have your sword. Because, at the point that I was out of the car and I had my cloak on, I was like, I'm so cold right now. I'm like standing here shivering. I don't even want to hold anything. I'm just like, I was so, to be honest, I was so flustered and so like in a really positive way. I was so overwhelmed with how awesome this whole moment was about to be that I was just completely forgot. Also, the rain was like, I don't want rain on my shield. It was gonna, it was not gonna do well.
My shield still isn't sealed. And I don't think any of my armor was either at the time, so I was like really against being in the rain for very long.
Because I mean, theoretically, it all should hold up, but you just never know, right?
I started to notice in the damp that my sword had a bend in it, so it was starting to warp because of the dampness, and I was like, yes, no.
And to add to that with the photo shoot, I think we also have to shout out to JJ.
God, yes.
Jennifer and Rachel.
TOP.
What's that?
Rachel Dooley. Rachel Dooley.
Yeah. To make the four of you just really. So, and the thing that amazed me the most about those shots is that they looked like movie stills, and it wasn't another, that was 4 or 5 months before the movie was released.
Yeah.
So, and that was just incredible for you all to put that together and get it done and have it done so early and basically jump everybody in that world. And it was just kind of like,
I was surprised.
I kind of felt like your group was like the definitive, blah, you're there, boom, we've made our mark, bam.
Well, at least for me, that totally wasn't my intention. I think I was just excited about doing a photo shoot with Rachel, because Rachel and I had done the Huntsman group back at PAX. So I was Ravenna and she was the Freya, the Ice Princess, right, Ice Queen.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do another collaboration with her, and I talked her into doing Diana, the Themyscira version, and because she was kind of like, I don't really want to do armor. So, and then Heather asked me if I was doing Wonder Woman, and if I wouldn't mind if she joined as Hippolyta, which was really funny because we didn't really know each other at the time.
No,
I was like, no, well, actually, I'm doing Hippolyta, but if you're doing Wonder Woman, please join us. It would be amazing. And then JG kind of said, yeah, so I've been thinking about maybe doing Antiope, and yeah, it just kind of fell together at that point. So there was no goal. The goal was not to beat everybody. Or even the movie. It was just
really enthusiastic.
And that photo,
you guys were all excited, right?
Yeah, we were so excited.
That's what it's about, being excited.
Yes.
Loving characters and being like, hey, I want to be this person and I want to make this thing happen. So
passion projects, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And it definitely showed. And then your photos, I don't know, did they go viral? It was pretty close. I mean, I saw you guys in a lot of different places.
I think they're starting to.
Yeah.
I think at the time they didn't. It was still really, really narrow field. I think now that the exposure is there and people have their eye on Wonder Woman a whole lot more than they did previously, that maybe they're starting to go. I found myself on Pinterest the other day. That was bizarre.
Yeah, isn't that always an interesting experience?
Yeah, I was looking for Amazons and I popped up and I was like, okay.
So, speaking of popping up in places, I noticed just a couple days ago you popped up in a top 10 Wonder Women.
Yeah, no one approached me for that. That was thank you. No one approached me for that. That was not like a, hey, you should include me on your list. No, that was like a complete surprise. I saw.
Was that a little surreal, or?
It was very surreal. I had seen the day previous Victoria, who is Wonder Woman is real. She had posted something about, oh my gosh, I'm so honored to be named first, and I was like, that's awesome for her. And I didn't at that point. I was on my way to work and I was in a hurry, so I kind of didn't look at what she was named first in, and I was like, okay, great, yay. And then I got distracted, and the next morning I wake up and there's all these messages. It's like, look, it's Harbeastie. Look, there's this. What? Where the hell did this come from? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm fourth. Yes.
It's the amazing gun. It's the amazing guns. I mean, it's all about that shot is just, you're just so intense in that shot. You're just like, I love that shot.
I got my army behind me. I'm good.
Yeah.
And you know what? During that shoot, Heather got the best lighting. The sun came out and it was like, as she was posing on the beach. It was perfect.
So you had some Amazonian influence there, I think,
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Totally. Yes.
I've been a history buff almost my entire life, and so Greek, ancient history in particular, like Greek ancient history has always been a thing for me, along with Egyptology and like Arthurian legend and all of that stuff. It's all really romantic. So Wonder Woman comes along and her backstory is perfect, and I love that they included so much of the Greek influence that is really there. I ran with it.
Well, I agree with you, and kind of, moving into talking about the movie a little bit. I really love the movie. There's just so many great things about it. I really love one of the things that just really stood out to me was the backstory when she's telling the story to Diana, and they use like this really awesome, like. You want to call it like a 3D Renaissance painting animation,
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was outstanding, and I loved the way they told the story, and really, were able to visually bring everybody up to speed, so the audience would know, hey, this is really quickly the backstory, but what a beautiful way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
very classical, like. Good art, good fine art.
And a lot of fine art from that period would tell different stories from the same storyline and different timelines, exactly like that, where they would have one part of it over here in a corner, and then another part up in the sky, and then another part in another corner, and all these little pockets. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Have you, Eric? Have you seen the book yet?
The art
book?
No, I'm waiting for mine.
I have my prop.
So
yes, it's so good.
So what I did was I looked for it like the week the movie came out, and they were available on Amazon, like on Prime, and it's like available. Right. So I'm like, I'll order it. I'll order it soon. I just didn't take the time to order it, and then like 3 days later, I was like, I need to order that book, and it went back. Now it's a 4-week wait. So
God, really?
I realized that. So I had ordered mine. Beverly had brought hers over to my house, and I was like. Gushing over it. I was overwhelmed with it. And that day I was like, went on my Amazon app on my phone and was like, one click, just boom, done. Yeah. Didn't realize there was a 4 to 6 week wait for it, and was like, screw that.
Well,
so I got mine in like a week and a half.
There wasn't, so it was just
right.
Right.
Like, so I ended up canceling my order and ordering it from Barnes & Noble instead, which got it to me quicker. But
really? Nice.
Yeah.
Because that was just like right before the movie just exploded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just,
wow. But what a great idea to release the book like right as the movie releases, because everyone's going to want it. It's like somebody out there knows that cosplayers are going to be wanting to make these, these costumes.
I swear they took pictures with us in mind. I really do.
I absolutely love the art books, and the majority of the larger blockbuster style comic book movies usually have an art book. And I have several of them from different movies, and it's like one of the first things when it's getting close to movie release time. I always look to see if there is one, and depending on how much they cost and how much I like the movie, I'll order it or not. But there's almost every single movie that comes out now, there's usually a really amazing art book that goes along with it. So,
well, when you get your book, I want you to let me know how many of those props you want to make, because because
I'm pretty sure Beverly and I have gone through every page and been like,
you're like, ooh, I need this. Ooh, I need this.
Oh, I can make a pattern for that, like super fast. Yeah.
So previous before going into the movie itself, had either one of you had very much experience like with Wonder Woman in a like comic book form, or has your Wonder Woman experience mostly been just like like Wonder Woman TV series as a kid or something, or either one of you? Or I mean, she's such a huge icon that it's like I feel like everybody thinks they know Wonder Woman, but I'm not sure if we really do. Does that make sense?
No, I totally know what you mean. Well, I remember watching the show early morning when I was a kid. It was like the first thing on in the morning. And I also remember not really liking her costume. So she's wearing a bathing suit. How could she stop bullets in a bathing suit?
I always thought her waist was too cinched. I was like, that looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
yeah. I mean, Wonder Woman's been such a staple. And I think, I tend to gravitate towards non-traditional or non-super popular characters or icons. I don't know. Everybody loves Wonder Woman, so I was moving on to other things. But I'm hooked now. I love Wonder Woman. I want to read some of those. I want to read the comics now. I'm interested. Like I bring it.
Right. I grew up wanting to watch Wonder Woman every day, He-Man and Masters of the Universe, and Solid Gold Dancers.
Oh,
so I would rotate.
Solid Gold is, yeah, I'm really dating myself now, but Solid Gold was the show when I was a kid, man.
Right? I wanted to be a Solid Gold dancer. Like, that was yes. I would put on my mom's heels and I would dance around, but that's that's a story for another time. No, I watched a lot of Linda Carter. I was not so much into comic books when I was younger. I would see them and I think they were cool, but for the most part, it was seeing that female form on the television when there really weren't any female superheroes around to look up to. And she was one of the very first, maybe the very first that I was aware of that, really stood for something that was like, I want to be her when I grow up, So,
and you are. You did.
Yeah,
Dreams come true.
I'm the same way. I've always been around comic books because I had friends that were into comic books and stuff when I was a kid, but I wasn't a comic book reader for two reasons. Right. One, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and so there was no local place to buy comic books. And two, I grew up pretty poor. And there just wasn't a lot of extra money to buy things like comic books. So, but I do remember borrowing. I had a friend that lived more in town, and his parents had a little more money, and he had his own paper route, and he would spend all his money on buying Star Wars toys and comic books. So, as much as I could, I would stay the night at his house, and then I would gorge on,
awesome.
Do the.
Because he had all the cool stuff.
Yeah, you had all those friends with all the cool toys.
Now that I think about it, it's like I kind of feel bad because I never really played with him. I just sat in his room and played with his Star Wars toys and read comic books.
You know what's funny? I think that's a universal thing because I notice my boys do that now. They don't want to really play with their friends. They want to go to their house and look at what they have that's different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Which is... Stop that. Go play with your friend.
I did have a few, I remember him having some Wonder Woman comic books and stuff. But for me, the connection with Wonder Woman was always the TV show. And I just thought, when I was a kid, it was just a cool TV show. And we also had The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby, which was a show I loved. And The $6 Million Man. And then, what was the one with, I know there was one with the woman.
Batman, Catwoman.
No. Do you remember the $6 Million Man at all?
Oh yeah.
So there's the lady version of the Bionic Woman. Yeah. So Bionic Woman and $6 Million Man. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember the name of that show for whatever reason. But but with the Bionic Woman and Wonder Woman, they were really the two first I can really remember really strong, powerful female characters that had any kind of I had any connection with as a child. And so I've always had this really fond memory of watching those shows with my sister. I have a 2-year-old, or a sister that's 2 years older than me. And we used to watch those shows together all the time. And I was just always in awe. I loved the Wonder Woman TV show. The only thing I never understood was the invisible jet. So
So someone pointed out recently that when she's in her invisible jet, she looks like she's sitting in the restroom. To put it mildly. She's in the invisible jet, Lou.
It never made sense.
She was at this weird angle. She was just I was like, what is she doing? Why is she?
I never understood
she's
why
not, she's not invisible.
She's in the invisible
what's
jet.
The point?
Why isn't she invisible?
You can see her flying in a chair.
Yeah. It's not very good camouflage if they can still see you.
It's a weird way to make her fly.
Yeah,
I know. So other than that, I always thought the invisible jet was just really hokey.
Oh my God. I'm just realizing that I really hope that they don't do an invisible jet in the movies. I think that would kill it.
Right? The only way that would work is if they make it like a Marvel Quinjet.
Yeah, it would have to be with
the reflective.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, she can't have a jet. No, she's too badass for some camp like that.
Yeah,
no jet.
That far into the air, she doesn't need a jet.
She can fly, so why does she need a jet?
It almost feels beneath her at this point, right?
Exactly. Don't do it, DC.
I would be I'm not stepping foot in a plane. Steve blew up in one. I'm not going in one of those things. They're terrible.
So, did either one of you see Batman versus Superman: The Dawn of Justice? Yeah. Was that something that you saw?
only watching the parts with Wonder Woman.
Oh my God. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because the reason I bring it up is because it's like, kind of leading up to the movie, it's like one of the only things we've seen of her was her part in Batman versus Superman, which, I mean, I could spend 2 hours ragging on Batman versus Superman, but I won't. But I will say, definitely, the highlight of that movie is when Wonder Woman shows up.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even really need to be in the movie, but it's so
she's
much,
a segue for the Justice League.
So much, but it's so much better when she's in it,
Yeah.
Right. And once she showed up in that, and because there was a little bit of, controversy about Gal Gadot, whether, she was the right person for Wonder Woman or whatever. But as soon as I saw her in that movie, I was like, she's awesome. And
I was in the skeptical camp.
And all she had to do was show up and kick butt, and she just looked amazing doing it. And I was just like, going into the actual Wonder Woman movie, I was like, man, if she can act, she's going to be amazing. Because I've never seen her as an actress in anything, so I didn't know what kind of acting chops she had.
I have never watched the Fast and the Furious movies, but apparently she's in one of those.
Yeah, she's in like a couple of them, I think, but I've only seen the first 2.
Yeah, after that, there's no point in watching those. So
there's like 14 of them. You can spend a whole long weekend watching all of them. I totally agree, though, Eric. That whole last scene where she shows up and they're like, "Is she with you?" And then she's like, "I'm here to take care of business."
Yeah. And she shows them both up, and you're just like, "Why isn't this movie about her?"
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Wait, don't leave. Come back.
Exactly. What took you so long to get here?
Right. I was definitely in the skeptical camp at the beginning of it, though. When the pictures for that first started coming out, I'm like, her costume is so dark. She looks so gritty. I think they've made her too dark. And then as we got more and more little tidbits of information as time went by, I started to realize, well, now it makes sense because it's in the timeline. Of course her armor's going to be dingy. She showed up in World War I, for crying out loud. Of course her armor's going to have a little bit more mileage on it than it did before. But at first I was really quite disappointed and it grew on me.
I know the costuming was definitely a point of contention for a lot of people. I always thought, from the beginning, I was like, it looks cool. I mean, I wasn't really one way or the other too much about it, I do think that those movies are color graded too dark, though. And so when you finally saw some photos of like not color saturated, it's like, wow, this costume's actually very pretty. It has like a lot of really nice coloring to it, and there's a lot of detail to it, but you can't see it because the color grading is so bad.
Right.
So, but coming into the her standalone movie, I was glad to see that they didn't completely change her costume. I know that they reworked her leg armor, but for the most part, it's the same. For the most part, it's the same costume, but just a lighter colored version of it.
Yeah, they brightened it up to be more Wonder Woman-ish. I actually read part of my book the other night. I got absorbed very quickly in reading all about it. But they redid her leg armor completely so that she could move in it more easily and actually fight in it. But
functional armor for a movie?
What?
But
oh my God.
Did very little to change her other costume. It had already been made for them, so other than casting it differently,
make it a little more movable for her. So I'm assuming that you're both pretty big fans of how Gal ended up portraying Wonder Woman in the movie. Is that a safe assumption? Or?
I think so. Yes, I was very happy with it. Yes.
Yeah, she's grown on me, and she's so plucky.
That's the thing.
She's just got a good attitude, and she's never. Anytime I've seen press about her, she's never not positive. She's always got something good to say. She's always trying to make a joke out of something. She seems like a really awesome person.
Yeah,
and
she really
I think
does.
she deserves to be Wonder Woman. So I'm glad that she is.
I agree. And I think her personality really shows through in the movie, because it really requires somebody that can pull off, because part of the movie is this fish out of water story, right?
Right.
A little bit, because she's never been to the, our world, and it's
culture shock.
Yeah, it's culture shock, and she's around men now, and she hasn't really dealt with them, and she kind of has to have that sort of bright, wide-eyed, naive view of the world. But then in a split second, she needs to be able to turn around and kick ass, like she's like it's her job, and it is her job. So, and I just thought that she did a brilliant job of portraying like the two, maybe there's even 3 or 4 sides of that character.
Right. She was the impression I always took away from her was that she was a woman who was constantly assessing the situation around her and really confused as to why she wasn't being taken seriously. Yeah. So she's like, okay, but this makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is wrong with you people?
It's the one scene where she's going through or trying to attack the rotating door.
Yeah.
That one that's the defining moment for me where she's like, let me do it on my own.
Yeah. I'm going to figure this out.
I'll figure it out. I'm not stupid. I just need to look at it for 5 seconds. Come on.
Yeah. No, I really loved her seeing the world of men through her eyes. And I'm so glad that things aren't the way that they were back then. Not that that was a historically accurate movie, but it was really nice for me as a woman to see how far we've come, and not that we needed Wonder Woman, but a whole bunch of Wonder Women's had to happen in order for us to be where we are today, and that was really cool. It was really cool to see.
Yeah. Happy tears of joy.
I know. Oh my God, so many happy tears of joy during that movie.
And then another facet that I thought, she pulled off well, and maybe this isn't that hard to do because who she got to act with, but I felt that I believed the relationship between her and Steve. So, and I think Chris Pine did a really good job of just being that supporting character, and
yes,
and I love the switch around play of him being kind of more in the traditional girlfriend role,
right,
and her being in like the more the masculine role, and that kind of switcheroo,
right.
But he plays it so well. It's just I don't know. I just thought they had great chemistry.
That's funny.
Yeah, I would agree. Very much so. They. I don't even know what to say about that. He's pretty amazing. But I have like a.
You have a thing for him.
You can. Him.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Heather can have him.
If we're gonna talk about people I want to have, that's the
wait. He's not.
There's like a whole group. Robert Downey Jr.'s in there.
He's not
Chris
your favorite,
Pine.
Bev.
He's not my favorite, and so I kind of had a little bit of a hang up going into that movie. It was like, Chris Pine.
Yeah. How'd you feel about him overall? I mean, how many times have you seen Wonder Woman now?
So I saw it 3 times.
3 times
in like a week.
Yeah.
Because it was so amazing. And so by the third one, because I was also reading about it, and I was thinking about it, and I was talking to people about it.
Absorbing everything you can.
Yeah. I really appreciate what he did with that role now. Yeah. And like, I've forgotten about how I feel about Chris Pine in general, but I really do like what he was able to pull off with that, and not taking over the movie like he's the main character, letting Diana be Diana, and actually doing that in the movie as well, which was part of the role that he was written for him, was to, when she crossed over no man's land, he was like, okay, I'm behind her now. I'm not leading this.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge anymore.
Let's go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, and I have to tell
that was awesome.
I have to tell you, just saying the words "no man's land" gives me chills. It does. Yeah! Did you know? Have you seen the interview where Patty? Okay, so the director, her name is Patty Jenkins. In case anybody doesn't know who Patty Jenkins is, and I saw an interview with her where she was explaining that originally, the studio didn't really think that scene was necessary, and she had to fight to keep that scene in the movie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
All the scenes they could possibly keep in the movie, that's like the most
I know, right? One. Do you know anybody that does not consider that the most defining moment of the whole movie? I know.
Oh my God.
I was just like, you have to be kidding me that at some point somebody was like, hey, it's not all that. Why is she doing this? And I think I think I remember her saying somebody basically said to her, "What we don't get it. Why is she doing this? Why is this important?"
Right. Was it a dude saying that? Because
I'm sure
Jenkins
I'm sure it
direct
was.
all the movies now. Seriously, yeah.
It's our secret damn duty to protect the world.
I would love to see a movie made about how Patty made this movie, or how this movie was made.
A documentary on making of. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm so glad that she made such a great movie, because there was a lot of haters when she first got. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh wow, the boys club went crazy.
Well, it was, and there was a lot of complaints that the only reason she was hired was because she's a woman, and that's it, and there's nothing else, nothing about
totally unfounded.
Because she hadn't done any big feature films before.
But how much does that speak to the fact that women just aren't given those kinds of big roles?
Exactly, yeah. And so it's just like having her come out and just crush it so hard.
She rocked it.
She mopped the floor with everybody in this one.
I just love it so much. I might start her official fan club or something, because I'm just like
I will sign up.
So excited that she did such an amazing job, and I'm sure she had a huge, amazing team behind her to help her, because obviously making a movie this size is not just the work of one person, but
she had an Amazon army behind her.
Yeah, she did.
My God, that
Amazon army behind her.
I get chills to this day.
Yeah. So you do agree, No Man's Land probably the most important part of the movie, and
absolutely the most important part. And I love telling this little tidbit of information, this little factoid, if you probably already know, but the theme song, the Wonder Woman theme song, we don't actually hear it until then. That part of the movie, we wait like over an hour for. Yeah. So it's like this build up, and then you finally, everything explodes, and it's this.
Yeah.
And you got to find, there's a, somebody, I should find it and send it to you, but somebody did a breakdown of that
Is it the
music.
The YouTube one?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's awesome for people who are listening. You need to go find this and get a little lesson in how music can be super strong and powerful. Like just a few notes. It's just a few notes, and it's from is it Immigrant Song? Yeah, it's an Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin.
So it's very much like Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin. It's got that same like banshee wail type of feel to it, where it's like it's a battle cry.
Yeah. And it's amazing.
It's so worth it.
And they talk about the cellist that they used for that piece.
Because her theme is done with the cello, not like electric. It almost sounds like electric guitar, but it's actually cello. So.
It's a really interesting electric cello. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's like hollow. It's cool looking.
Speaking of battle cry or crying, I cried at that scene.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed.
As soon as the music swelled and she takes one step out, and that she's just going to charge hard and not stop, I lost it. I did.
Yeah.
And, my family would tell you I'm an easy crier anyway, but...
Oh, Eric.
That just makes you human. It means you don't have a hard candy shell, Eric.
It makes you a better man.
So, there's 4 of us in my family. I'm the only guy. And if somebody's going to cry at a movie, it's me. I'm just saying.
You know what? Brett is a big smush as well. Brett was crying. Crying during those parts.
So that was the first time during the movie I cried. So it definitely had that. It just had all the right. But then again, the music is like a lot to do with that, because it just brings up some kind of emotion in you that you just normally don't get.
Exactly.
So.
And that's what that little like mock document, or it's not mock, I guess, but that little micro documentary that the dude did about the music really is about. Music can affect us on a really visceral level.
Yeah.
And certain notes, combinations of notes in particular just trigger a neural response.
It works that way for me, like whenever I watch the Lord of the Rings movies, anytime somebody's going to go to battle and there's like big music swell and they're all
and you're like,
fight,
I'm ready to go.
I just start to cry. I just like, Braveheart, same thing. All the guys are getting ready to go to battle.
Oh, God, yes.
I just start to cry.
Oh, I cry when I listen to country music, but
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's for different reasons. Sorry if you love country music.
I don't listen to country music, but if I listen,
neither do I.
Neither do I.
It would make me cry. Just country music in general. I'm just saying.
Because my ears are bleeding. Okay, I'm sorry. I know there's like some country out there that's fine and good, but
my best friend.
It's just
we feel the same.
Sorry, everybody. Eric, I really hope I didn't diminish your number of listeners by saying any of that.
No offense to anyone who listens.
He's going to edit that out anyway.
Every guest has one forgivable thing. That's your one. You've used it up. So.
I've used my chip already.
You're right.
So
Done.
If
you get no more.
If you feel like you have to use one more, I might just have to turn you off, and Heather and I will.
Oh,
I'll give you mine. I'll try not to use mine. The next time something happens, you can use mine.
So besides No Man's Land, which I don't see how anybody could not at least say that's an extremely important part of the movie. Is there any other part of the movie that just kind of really stood out to you, or a part that just you really connected with, or just made you go kind of a similar kind of emotion? The
moment she went back into Veld after it had been mustard gassed.
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
You could see the rage and the compassion and the shock, and you could see all of those emotions just work through Gul's face. And that was, oh my gosh. That moment, I was like, this is the moment that makes her. This is more than any other moment in the movie. This is the moment where she truly realizes that this is not going to be what she thinks it's going to be. It's going to be hard. And it's just, gives me chills just thinking about it now.
Because up to that point, she almost kind of has a romanticized version of what battle is, right? Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, as far as I can tell, the movie kind of portrays that she's never really fought much in a battle before, but she's spent all this time
training
with her people training, and so she kind of has this child's view of battle and war. And it's not until she sees that even if you try to do the right thing, it can still turn back around against you. And, and she did do the right thing, and it still failed miserably.
Right.
Right.
It's a giant piece of failure. And she saved those people only for them to be dead the next day.
Yeah. And that was, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think I would have forgotten about that scene, because it's been, since opening day, since I've seen the movie, and I've only seen it once.
Well, and
Eric,
there's a really subtle play too to her goddess at that point, because she walks out. She can walk through the mustard gas without problem.
Yeah,
and Chris he runs up and he's like, I can't get there. And she comes walking right out of it like it ain't no thing.
That's definitely a very good point. Like the contrast of those two, and then and I really feel like that scene is where her performance just really solidified for me too. It's like, because I don't think that's not an easy scene to pull off. And like you said, you can see her going through 1,000 different emotions at once, and you can feel her heartbreak just by the look on her face. And that for me was just like, okay, this lady knows what she's doing. She's got me 100%,
She rushes in there without any thought to the danger. Yeah. Obviously this killed all these people, but she just runs right in she's not even heeding any of that stuff that's happening right there. She doesn't think about the fact that she might die too. She doesn't.
It's not even a care, because
it's definitely that one. Beverly, how about you? What was yours? She's like, how do I follow?
How do you follow that? I mean, I was just like,
no.
Heather's breaking down, almost talking about it, and you're just like,
I know.
Makes me verklempt.
Well,
okay, it was the hot tub scene. Just admit it. You like Chris Pine.
You got me there.
Nailed it.
You got me, Eric. You know me so well.
I know.
You see right through me.
That's what good friends are for. They just call it like it is.
Yeah,
awesome.
Right. Oh my gosh. So one of the most powerful scenes for me was seeing the battle scene on the beach battle scene.
Oh yeah.
When all of those women came rushing towards, careening off the cliffs and jumping into the swinging from these things, and no fear, just all out, everyone coming to get them. Just it was just. I would watch that over and over and over again 1,000 times and never get tired of it. I just love all of that sheer power and fearlessness, and this is what they train for, and it's just instinct. Well, not instinct, but this is their duty. This is their, I just loved it. Loved it. And at the same time, I was kind of a little bit annoyed that Diana was like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, a little bit like
until
she was an overwhelming moment because she's never seen men before. So she's not only just met a man for the first time, but then all of a sudden here are like a bunch of people who are trying to hurt her.
Well, yeah, and then I think it's also important to point out that up until that point, all the other Amazonians have all fought before, like actually real enemies, because they were part of the wars past, because that's what they were created for, to be these guardians or whatever. And so I think it probably, I think they played that part a little too long. Like, I wish she would have picked it up a little quicker. Because it seemed like a little bit like she was thinking about it too much. But it's not like a detrimental thing or something.
She seemed like a gawky child.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just watching this happen right now because I'm just overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a deer in the headlights kind of thing, right? Is this really happening?
Yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to see her skills. I wanted to see her like joining in with her sisters and.
Well, she went to go shoot the arrow. She was shooting.
Right.
She finally did pick it up. It's like, okay, I think it's like that thing where, it's almost like a tunnel vision thing where like you're stuck in like one mode and you're like, is this really going on around me? And it's like, okay, I have to snap out of it and react to this eventually. And that's actually, given the line of work that I do, it's actually fairly common for people to experience that kind of thing. And it's kind of a fight or flight kind of syndrome, right? And it just takes her a few to just really process it. And it's like, okay, that's what this is all about, especially because I'm assuming she's never seen a gun before. So when like the one really just massive, this awesome Amazon comes swinging down and takes a bullet and she's down in a second, it's like,
that was so heartbreaking.
It's like, what is this magic? Because it's like she was like maybe the best fighter out of everybody except for her aunt, All
right, well, fine. I forgive her for being a newbie to the whole fighting and killing.
We just justified. We're like, Beverly, you're wrong.
Well, I also think it's
no, you're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong.
I also think it's a little important for her journey as a warrior to not start out as like, because where do you go from there?
Yeah.
If she just cleans up the beach, what's left for her to experience as the movie goes along?
You're totally right.
Well,
you're right.
The other thing too is she literally, if you think about the sequence of events, she knocks down her aunt.
Yeah. With
this like crash of power she's never used before. She goes and jives off a cliff to go save some random dude who's all of a sudden just shown up. There's just all these things that are just new all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, her world is definitely being like invaded with just all kinds of things.
Literally.
Information overload. It's kind of like overstimulation. She's just like, I don't know what to do.
Absolutely. So, just trying to think if there was anything else specific questions I wanted to ask you two about the film. How many times did you see it, Heather?
How many times have you seen it, Heather?
I've only seen it twice.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Well,
I win.
Well, and both those times involved Beverly, so it's
okay.
Well,
there you go.
Other than that, life got really busy really quickly because I found a cause and a purpose that I thought was important through this movie. So what was that cause and purpose then? I mean, we might as well talk about that a little bit. Well, I started a Facebook group. I dragged Beverly along for the ride, although I'm pretty sure she's cool with that. Something tells me you didn't have to drag her that hard. I didn't have to drag her too far.
I think it was like we looked at each other and like, we need to do this. We need to make it happen.
We started a group on Facebook called Sisters of Themyscira. And
Amazon Sisters of Themyscira.
Oh, Amazon, sorry.
Sorry.
You don't want to be confused with the other group of just, sisters.
I think one is just Sisters of Themyscira. There probably is.
There's probably more than one group, right?
Right. Oh, there's many groups. There are.
I bet.
There's one that's just Themyscira.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. There's a whole ton. But we started Amazon Sisters of Themyscira, and we had a conversation, and it wasn't even much of a conversation. It was just like, this is important. I think that we need to empower and get as many women as we possibly can to be an Amazon army with us. And it's not necessarily that they need to be all conformed or all the very same Amazon. It was the idea behind it was to get them to be their own brand of Amazon, because that's exactly what they did with this movie. Each and every Amazon has their own personality, has a little bit something that's different about each and every single one of those costumes, even though they have similar shapes. And so we wanted to present as many women as we could with a free pattern that was like, if you need the help that a pattern can provide, then we're going to help you do that. So I started patterning out as many Amazon.
You've been a machine, girl.
So you've been pumping them out, right?
I've been pumping them out. I've started to teach myself, Illustrator, just so I can, not burden Beverly with having to clean up all my work.
I don't mind. I totally don't mind.
But I want every girl out there, every woman out there to feel like a strong Amazon who can do whatever they put their mind to, who can be strong and awesome and do all the things they want to do in this world, and with no apologies. Do it because you can do it. And ultimately, I would love to see many of us dressed up as our own unique Amazon somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
take
like a big giant army.
Yeah, just a large amount of us.
Some type of meetup or something.
And there's no real aim for that right now.
Yeah,
I think right now it's a March that's going to happen at Dragon Con in 2018 that I'm planning to be at. But
oh wow!
Oh yeah, me too.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's right now. That's the goal. But as far as sooner, like any opportunity that arises to have many of us together.
Yeah, and it's not just, led by Heather and I. There are other people that are, I think there's one in Phoenix, Arizona, that they're getting a little group together. There's a San Diego SDCC group that's getting together. So it's been really awesome to see, for sure. But we're trying to focus on the Amazon army portion of it, and less so much on the Dianas and the Hippolytas. Although, us, we will encourage anyone to make whatever they want.
Absolutely. But we'll support you in your Wonder Woman build, absolutely. But we want those Amazons standing behind her and making such a huge impact on the world just by being them.
And what's been super awesome is we've been seeing a lot of people who have never made anything before, and they're coming to us and they're asking everybody for help or tips, and the community is just so amazing, and people are actually going out and doing stuff. It's
become a really good sisterhood already. Like there's 250 at this point.
Something like that.
We're about 250 members at this point, and every single one of them, one of the rules is like there is no room for competition here. We are a sisterhood. We are together. We will help each other.
It's actually been helpful to me because because of my connection with being a fan of the movie and a fan of Wonder Woman in general, and then doing the sword. And then
gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yes. So nice.
I can't wait for you.
I can't wait for every time.
The most beautiful thing.
I can't wait for you both to get yours. So.
Oh my god.
But I'm just gonna pass out and die now.
I know. I'm like, I'm not worthy.
Oh, stop.
Well, we're doing a sword swap.
Yes, we're all swapping swords. So.
Yes.
I can't wait to have all three of them together. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be awesome.
But what the whole reason I brought that up was because I've actually had quite a few women contact me and say, "Hey, I know you do this sword and stuff. Do you know anything about armor or this or that?" And I'm like, "Guess what? I know where you need to go." And I've referred a handful of people to your group. And I've already seen the people that are contacting me posting like, "Hey, what about this or what about that or anything?"
Awesome.
So it's a helpful resource. Not only, for and it seems like you said, a lot of them are newer, like people getting into costuming or cosplay, and I think it's awesome to have that resource and have you guys are just like ready to go. It's like, hey, we know exactly what you need to do. Let's help you. So
absolutely.
And there's a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say that there's been a lot of people that are making them for their daughters as well.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah. It's just so cool.
And I really appreciate that because I was going to say that one of the things that made me most excited about the movie, overall, is that my daughters have grown up in like this age of comic book movies, right? And it's pretty much since they've been old enough to, be at an age to where the movies are appropriate to their age, they've gone to see most of the major release of comic book movies with me, and I was so excited after pretty much like 13 years of doing that with them to finally have a movie that was led by a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really meant a lot to me. Yeah.
Because I'm sure you want your daughters to be strong, independent ladies. And they pretty much are, which is, you're doing it right.
Sorry, I got teary-eyed.
Oh, Eric.
Brett
and
would
that's
be
the
too.
right reason.
Yes.
It's your daughters, and they mean as much to you as they should. And that's really important. I'm glad that they have, one, you as a dad, and two, we're in a space. We're in a really unique space as a society right now. Yeah. We could go either direction, and forward or backward. And it's really important to empower our youth, and especially our young women, to say, I'm not taking this crap. I'm not going to let this bullshit ride. I'm going to do something about it and change the world around me for the better. And that's anything I can do, anything anyone can do to further that goal is there's nothing else. It's just that.
I couldn't agree more. So anyway, it's just a very special time to be able to do that with them too. So
absolutely.
Well, I'm glad they didn't have to wait 42 years for this movie.
And no swelling music in the background to precede my...
Yeah.
It's okay.
Somebody's chopping onions. Hey, stop it.
Oh, you're
Eric, next time I see you, I'm gonna play the Wonder Woman theme for you, and then see if I'm gonna look in your eyes, see if you get misty. I will. I'll be crying.
You be talking about my
we'll have a good cry.
You be talking about my kids, and I just get overwhelmed. So
if you got together with Brett, you guys talking about your daughters.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It would be a cry fest. It would just be tears for miles.
It'd be tears and beers, I'm sure.
During that scene, No Man's Land, when she crossed, and Brett knew it was coming because it was the second time that he had seen it.
Yeah.
I've got like my fists are clenched and I'm just like looking at him, and he's looking over at me, and he like leans over and he looks at Zoe, and she's just glued, and both of us looked over at her. It was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad she's seeing this. I'm gonna start crying because it was just so cool to see a woman. Yeah,
do the things.
Damn it!
I know, right?
Damn it! Thanks a lot, Patty Jenkins.
Making women cry shit.
But for
making everybody cry
for all the best reasons, and
happy tears of joy.
I would gladly watch that scene over and over and over again.
Well, and we're not the only ones who cry. Everyone.
But
it's a phenomenon.
Just even the way that it was shot, like when the overhead shot of her with a shield, and she had like all of that fire,
right?
Just come and
every direction,
just gorgeous. And I didn't mind the gritty DC style, dark bluey kind of greenish tint of the whole movie, because it worked really well during that scene with the brightness of the bullets hitting her shield and everything. It was just awesome.
And it definitely had a purpose for the movie too, because back at Themyscira, everything was very bright and vibrant and beautiful, and it's like that color difference. It was part of the storytelling, not just let's be dark and gritty just to be dark and gritty.
Yeah. Right.
And it definitely worked because they get to
big contrast.
Transition.
You get to man's land, and it's like she even said. She even says a line about it, being really ugly or something too.
It's hideous.
It's hideous. Yeah. So
it's dark and gray.
I don't mind that kind of treatment if it works in the storytelling, and I really feel like the film, whoever's if it was Patty Jenkins or I don't know who had this overall thing with it, but I really feel like every decision for the movie was made for a specific reason and not just hey, this is going to look cool, or this is going to be this, or, you know, I really feel like there's like a very dedicated like focus throughout the whole movie. And that's something that I wasn't expecting.
It's really cohesive.
I was hoping the movie would be good, but I honestly was not expecting it to be as good as it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I was worried.
So Eric, if you could change like one thing about the movie, what would you change? Would you change anything?
Well, what's the mustache villain?
Aries.
Aries.
The mustache
It always
villain.
comes up.
Okay, so
Here we go.
So I know, because a lot of people really had problems with him. I didn't really dislike that part of the movie, but I felt like their showdown at the end was really unnecessary. Because I felt like everything up to that point was almost like a kind of new, fresh version of what we come to expect from comic book movies, you know? Yeah. And then they have their boss battle, and it all of a sudden becomes every comic book movie we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. You know, and
it was a recipe that they were following.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, man, imagine if it didn't have that big boss battle at the end. I mean, it's not really necessary, and especially because the action was so good up to that point. You know, you had like the no man's land, the fight with in the tower.
Right.
I mean, the movie has amazing action. Okay, I mean, I love all of the female empowerment and everything about the movie, but just at face value as an action movie, it has fantastic action. You know, the beach battle. Yeah. I mean, the fights are incredible. I get chills thinking about it. You know, and so, but I really feel like the boss battle at the end is just a letdown. It's just like, why is this even here? I don't need this, you know, because I felt like the story was told very completely up to that point, and then all of a sudden, but I also have a thing where I don't like fights between godlike characters because I think they're boring.
Okay. I'm going to throw a tank at your head. I'm going to throw a building at your head.
Yeah, it's like the fight between Zod and Superman at the end of Superman.
That was like a never-ending battle.
It's the fight against Agent Smith and Neo at the end of the third Matrix movie. It's like
every archetype has its own nemesis.
Indestructible characters fighting indestructible characters. It's not exciting to me because they're indestructible.
I don't know. She annihilates them pretty hard.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. No, it's.
I just wish that it had some. It was so to me, it was so perfect up to that point, and I wish they could have just continued down that path and taken it to a completely different place than we'd expect from a comic book movie. And I would have been like, okay, best movie ever made,
Well, that's why I kind of want to see the making of that movie. Because I want to hear from Patty Jenkins, like what happened there.
Right. Well, I mean, she needed an excuse. Think of it this way. She needed an excuse for Diana to use powers that she otherwise probably wouldn't have had to. So there's got to be something sufficiently large enough to push her into the whole, like, I'm going to fly, I'm going to use the lightning, I'm going to do, what else would have happened in the world if Ares wasn't there? Well, would she have really come fully into her powers, or would she just have always kind of ridden the edges?
I just think that his whole thing was like, join me, Diana, or I'm going to kill you. It was like, really, Ares, has that ever worked for you in the past? It's like, and also, you had like a long time to get rid of this mustache thing. Like, why does your hairstyle stay the same?
I know everybody hated the mustache. The mustache didn't bother me. I didn't really care.
Come on,
Eric. Conversation about the mustache.
You just wish you could grow a mustache like that.
I can.
Please do.
I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Prove it. Can you? Yeah. Just make the Ares helmet and have a mustache. Just do that.
I love the Ares helmet, and I love the part where he digs.
I was like,
that
was the best part of that whole thing. I was like,
this guy is amazing,
that was amazing.
It just kind of, I don't know. I get your point, Heather, and I hadn't thought about it in that way. Like, needs to be some kind of impetus to
catalyst
to like really help her focus and find that extra,
like there's Yeah, that was always my thought. It was like if Ares wasn't there, then there would have had to be some other villain, some other something to bring that out of her.
Or he could have left and then I'll see you later.
Well, okay.
Get
back to this for a second. There is this one part where I just cannot get over it. And it's the one part of the movie that I could not wrap my brain around, where she first encounters Ares. He finally shows up and she goes to reach for her sword and it's not there because she's killed Ludendorff with it already. And and then they cut away. And then there's a cut away to Chris Pine and whatever he's doing. And the next time they cut back to Wonder Woman, she's got her sword. She's like, and it's like, here, Ares, hold my beer. I'm going to go get my weapon.
Yeah. I figured she just, she just went over and picked it up. So,
Right. And she just went, took it out of some dude she just killed. And was like, okay, I'm ready.
Well,
So I have an idea, you guys. Heather, you as Wonder Woman, and Eric, you should totally make that Ares costume. You should just make that. You can grow the mustache out for it.
Should just build that, huh?
You should just go ahead, just build it. You've got you've got time. I know you're not doing anything right now.
Actually, we left the movie. We were talking about the costumes, and of course, my wonderful 5 foot tall daughter that loves everything dark and whatever. She's like I totally want to be Ares. I want that. Will you build me that?
Oh my God. Did you smack her into next week already or what?
No. Because,
are you going to make it for her?
No.
Oh my God.
She's spent the last 6 years trying to convince me to build her a Sauron costume from the Lord of the Rings too. So.
Oh my gosh.
I love that girl. I love her.
I think she has a thing for dark armor. It's like.
Well, I was going to say...
Have you seen Sauron? That's a crazy costume.
Oh, yeah. No, it's insane. I would love to make that someday, too, but...
Yeah. I value my life.
Yeah,
exactly. Sauron, Phelan, if you guys have heard of her, just to give her a shout-out to her. Her name is Phelan, I guess. It's like Faelynn. She's a cosplayer I follow. She's done a Sauron costume that was really well. Really well done.
Yeah, actually, I think she's on Instagram. I think she's fe.lynn.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go find her. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about.
She's a pretty amazing builder.
She did a version that I've always been impressed by. When I think of Sauron on a female form, she's the first one I think of. And it's like, oh, that's cool.
So awesome.
So I'm sorry. I think I sidetracked you, Bev. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Heather, you can wear your Wonder Woman costume. Eric, just go ahead and whip up an Ares costume real quick.
Yeah.
And we can reshoot the ending of that movie.
As long as
we could do so many different versions.
Well, so
come on, that'd be amazing.
They're brother and sister, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, they're like half brother
and sister.
Yeah.
So it could devolve into them sitting down and having cheese and crackers and playing a game of Go Fish or something like you do.
Can we play Parcheesi?
Yeah. How about we settle this in a game of Yahtzee?
Okay? Yeah. You guys, they can go to Baskin Robbins and get some ice cream.
Happen.
Eric, it's up to Eric. He's got to make this
happen. Right? Hurry up, man.
Such pressure. Bev's pressuring me so hard.
I
know, right? You're busy. You're making swords. You're pumping out all the swords.
I am. I'm a little tired of making swords, but
I am really tired of making swords. And
you guys tired of making swords?
I finished 2 more today.
Did you? Are you both still officially selling your swords? Is that still, or is it more just if somebody contacts you?
We keep teeter-tottering back and forth between really wanting to make them because people want them, and really not because we're wanting them to be fun.
Mine is in so many different parts because that little curly Q thing is no joke.
Yeah, that Nautilus thing. Yeah,
I have to do it in halves, otherwise I'd get air bubbles like crazy. It would just take me just as long to fix them as it would be to cast the 2 halves and then put them together and then do 2 of those. So it's 4 of that.
Yeah.
And then I only have the sword in a half right now because I kind of refuse to pour the rest of the silicone for that.
Well,
I just don't want to do it.
It's expensive. It's
I almost didn't do it a second time, but... Yeah, I've ruined a good mold, a good $400 worth of rubber.
But you redid yours, right?
I did, and I still had to fix it because I had a derp moment where I put event where there should not have been event.
We learn new things every time we make
it's
stuff.
true, but I poured some rubber.
Molding and casting it's definitely an art, and not just
it's
a
science.
Curve. So
there's a learning curve to it.
It's difficult. It's not. Every time I do it, it's like I get really nervous, and it's like
right. It's anxiety ridden for me. I'm like,
really
this better turn out.
Yeah, especially when you're doing like a 2-part mold, and you pour the first part, and you can't see the results until you pour the second part, and when you pull the whole thing apart, and you're like, okay, did it work? And you spend like a whole weekend on something and probably several $100s worth of silicone, and to have it fail is just like, it's like
it was disheartening.
Jabbing a knife in your heart. It just
it takes the wind out of your sails really quick.
It really, really does. Yeah, having those failures like that it's hard. It's really hard. I think that's why a lot of I think a lot of people stay away from molding and casting because they try something once and it fails and they're like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah. I've had people ask me like, why did you still do it after you failed so hard? And I was like, because I started small and I refused to give up.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I'm going to figure this out. As much as it's going to cost.
Beat me. So
no. And I was like, I can't let I'm like, this sword is my baby. I don't want it to. Yeah, so I redid it, and I finally fixed it, and so I've gotten my molds down to like 4 pieces, but even then...
Yeah, even then it's still a lot of work.
Yeah, my full blade mold, Beverly, thank you for those C-clamps, because oh my God.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
Without them, I was still having a mold that leaked because I wasn't tensioning it right, so I had to play around with it a lot, and I've ruined a lot of resin and a lot of rubber. But it's... I don't know. I finished 2 more today. I have probably 3 or 4 more that I could make.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of losing the momentum.
Are you losing the momentum on it? Because that's
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. If only because I'm really anxious to start moving on, and I'm starting to get anxious about those deadlines that are creeping up, and not having a full costume done yet, or even close to done. So
I get that. I get that totally. Yeah. So I finally hung up the mold for my Sif sword. I finally just decided. It was done. It was like my first big job, and I sold casts of that for like 3 years. I mean, that thing lasted forever. But
wow.
But it's like,
that's good play.
If somebody if it was a friend and they're like, hey, I really need this, I could probably squeeze one out, and it would be all right. But I'm done with those because it's just the mold's just toast. So. Having a successful piece like that, and you're selling, copies of it and stuff, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because it's great if people want your work and you can get your work out there, and there's not a better feeling than having somebody like,
it's a great problem.
Look what I did. And they show you a photo, or they tag you in something, and it's like they're there, they look awesome, they're holding something you made, and it's like it completes the thing for them. I love that. I love that feeling.
It's a point of pride. Yeah,
but I really hate making the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah,
it does suck to replicate them. And we tried to assembly line them at one point. There's assembly lining them sucks.
Well, I think that's why Heather and I love doing the patterns. We want to kind of do more of that stuff because I love making patterns because you make it and you fine tune it, and you can fine tune it along the way, but you just set it out there into the universe and
you go copy, paste, and there's another version of it.
It's been awesome.
They're working out really well. So I love the patterning tack of it too. I think that ultimately that's the path we're going down. Outside of physical props, but there will still be some, I'm sure.
If Jackie was here, she would just be raving about patterns with you.
I would love to talk to that girl about patterns, because she is
all that now.
She loves to make patterns too, and I'm just like, patterns.
Well, we were Heather and I applied for a live demo for pattern making at Rose City.
Oh, cool.
And we haven't heard anything yet, right?
No, we should
one's
be.
Really heard anything.
So I think actually the 11th. Was the deadline, or in a few days we're going to hear. I'm pretty sure that it's this Tuesday, but it may not. It's this week for sure.
Well, that would be nice. That would be really cool. I'd love to. I think that some people might be interested in checking that kind of thing out. But
I'm sure
we were going to do a live patterning demonstration.
Well, I actually think that would be a really interesting panel to do.
Yeah.
I think people would find that. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do that as a panel. So,
We were trying to think of things that we hadn't seen people do either, and that was something that was like, well, we could just do that in front of them.
I think that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. So is for both of you at the same place, is Rose City the next con that you'll both be at?
Yes, for me, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm planning for that one.
Well, my family plans on being there this year too, so.
Yay! Good.
Come to our panel if we got one.
I will.
Last year, you guys weren't there last year.
No, I was so.
And that sucked.
I was
I was Bad Panda.
I was so disappointed. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to make up for it. It's going to be awesome. There's so many people going.
I hope so. I really like Rose City a lot. It's probably my favorite con in the area. So I enjoyed RinCon last year too. I'm probably not going to be at that one though. So
I think we've been on the fence about going, but I think we're going to be going.
I think I think that's probably happening.
And we're going to have the kids with us. So, because they went last year with us, and Ted Smith's going to be there. So I
know, all my friends are going to be there. It's just
I got to go. And then there's Alicia Vixen's going to be there.
Oh. Again, all my friends are going to be there.
Right?
We'll just have to come over to your house, Eric, and
we'll just crash a party.
So the problem is Rose City's. It's a week after Rose City, right? Or
well,
it is the week after Rose City.
Yeah,
it is one weekend away.
So the problem
that's the only thing that makes it a little weird.
I'm in for my day job. I'm in a rotation where I work mostly weekends, and I had to take the whole weekend off for Rose City.
Oh, so you can't have 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Is that it?
In that case, I would rather you be at Rose City. Just saying.
Yeah, and so when they announced it was like the week after, it's like I'd have to take that whole weekend off too, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to get it off. So I may be able to, squeeze one day. I may be there like on Saturday running around and just saying hi to everybody because I want to see all my
cameo.
Yeah, see all my friends, but I won't be able to be there, because they contacted me again to be a guest and stuff, and I was like, I'd love to, but I just can't get the time off. So, which is why I wasn't at Rose City last year. Was I couldn't get the time off. So, but
you just need to quit your job and just make swords.
Oh yeah,
just make swords.
If it was profitable and I could support my family on it, I would. But.
Wouldn't we all?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
In a heartbeat.
Okay. Well, is there any other things you two want to say about Wonder Woman, or do you feel like we covered the topic fairly well? I like the way we had a mix of, movie talk, a little bit of outside movie talk, a little bit of fan talk. So it was kind of a fun way to kind of approach it, since you two, are really tied into what I want to call the Wonder Woman community right now. So
yes, we want to
stay there for an extended period.
We are going to be there for a long time. I would just say that if anyone out there wants to come join us on Facebook for our Amazon Sisters of Themyscira group, if they want to be an Amazon warrior with us,
come be with us.
Come join us. It's a closed group only because we just want to make sure that we don't get a lot of spammers on there or people trying to sell their stuff. That's not what we're about. So even though it's closed,
there's a lot of riffraff on Facebook. So
it's hard to weed all that stuff out.
And it's just everywhere. So it's appropriate to be a closed group, I think.
Yeah.
So
we're protecting our ladies a little bit.
Thank you both so much for being here. And I definitely have plans to have you both back as cosplay guests, and we'll do some origin stories about your hobby as cosplayers.
You're my origin story, man.
You know what? Eric is kind of my origin story as well.
I don't know if anybody's ever told me that before. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm like, you're kind of the reason I'm in this right now. I'm kind of blaming you.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we all have people we blame. I blame Bill Duran for mine. So.
Right.
And my daughters. So.
Well, yes, it was both you and your daughter. Is it Caitlin that dresses up as Loki? I'm getting this wrong.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. That's right. Good job.
Yeah. Hey, I remembered. Yeah. Okay. Both you and her when she was dressed as Loki, and we sat there for hours. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that Was that at Rose City that one year?
It was at Rose City. I think that's when we first met. I took away your business card, and I went and looked at your website like the second I went home because I was like, I want to know him.
She started stalking you since then.
I did. I honestly didn't realize that. That's crazy.
No, that's all you, man.
Wow. Oh, cool. Well, I'm really glad to hear that.
Well, thank you. You got my origin story just right there. There you go.
There's a little teaser for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Next time.
That's all yet.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for being
Thanks for having us.
Being
Absolutely.
pinch-hitting co-hosts and feeling the very large shoes of Jackie, because that girl's got the energy plus. So.
Oh man, yeah, she does. Well, I hope that we get to meet her sometime in the flesh, because she seems like such a cool person. I totally want to meet her.
I do too.
Talented lady.
I've actually never met Jackie in person.
Oh really?
No.
Well, she has to get her butt out here.
I know,
Jackie.
right? I know.
Oregon's the place to go.
All the cool people in Pacific Northwest, Jackie. Just
I know she really wants to come. Other than she'll be at BlizzCon, but other than that, I know she really wants to come do like another type of con on our side of the country. So I'm gonna work on her this year and see if we can. We actually would really like to do like get on a local con or something as Craft and Geek, kind of that angle, and do something together at a con. So
you should do a live podcast.
Well, that's what we'd like to do. We just need to get somebody to invite us to bring us on and stuff. So.
Well, let's do if we all helped, like if we all contacted like Rose City and we were like, hey.
We want to see this guy.
Yeah, Rose City.
We want to see them together.
Emerald City. Emerald City would be even cooler.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to do a con thing as Craft and Geek and do a live podcast or something. I think that'd be a blast. So
that would be awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
I look forward to it.
All right. Yeah. Look forward to that. So okay, well, we're gonna call this episode done, and we'll see everybody later, and see you next time on Craft and Geek. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Wonder Woman.
That's going in there.
That's
going in there. It's not getting cut out.
You're crazy.